What is up, homies? Welcome back to another set of trailer reactions from Heroes Reforged. We're going to be watching 3 trailers: Maul, Shadow Lord, Invincible, and Masters of the Universe. Lots of trailers today. I truthfully was like not expecting all these to drop on the same day. I don't know what prompted these trailers to drop on this particular day, on this blessed Thursday, but happy to be here. Yeah.
Definitely. Are you surprised by any of these, or are these kind of something that's been on your radar?
Good question. I think we all knew that the projects were happening. With Invincible, I feel like we never know when there's going to be a trailer because they only indicate like the year that it's going to come out. They never usually will tell us. Sometimes, but I feel like more often than not, they don't really give us a time of year. And I feel like we find out the very last minute, oh, it's coming out in like 2 months, which is, I think, the case with this. It comes out March 18th, which is literally less than 2 months away. And I think with Invincible also, I know that we found out from Robert Kirkman that it was going to be coming out sooner than what they were hoping with what ended up happening with season, I think, 2. So I'm happy about that because I feel like the gap with Invincible, or not maybe last season, but season 2 was just a little bit too long.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we addressed that on the pod when he was on, right? Like talking about the difference. So if you have not seen it, we have a dope interview with Robert Kirkman on the channel, on the podcast that happened last year. Go check out that pod. It's a good one. Adam, link it in here somewhere. We'll throw it in here somewhere so somebody can watch it. But I'm excited. I honestly have been out of the trailer game for a while, but I'm glad these are coming out. I think the project that most surprised me was Star Wars Shadow Lord. I don't know if I had ever heard of that project until we got the notification that there was a trailer out. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one because I do like Darth Maul. I feel like we got a satisfying story with him in Star Wars Clone Wars. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do here because I mean, you get to see all of Darth Maul from the moment he was chopped in half all the way up until the end. So, you know, let's see what that one's got to offer, but I'm ready to go whenever you are.
All right. We're going to start with Invincible Season 4.
Yeah. All right.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Mark, take a night off.
We don't get to take a night off.
Mark is healing.
From the first time, so many people would still be alive. I'll do anything to stop that from happening again.
It's not who you are, Mark. But trauma like that,
dude, crazy.
You don't even know, brother.
Things are changing, Mark, and not for the better.
We'll figure this out, okay?
we need to show the world that even after everything
more Brit.
Hell yeah.
the Guardians are still here, fighting to keep everyone
Yeah,
safe.
Dinosaurus, baby!
Shit. Dinosaurus.
From what might become
Dinosaurs.
Oh, snap. Okay.
I'm sorry, Mark.
Yes.
We need your help.
This is it.
How do you feel about war?
This is it.
The Viltrumites.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. We're getting to it.
Each day.
Tech jacket, baby!
Yeah! Hell yeah, Battle Beast, let's go!
We have a chance to end this war.
Wow.
I can help. How much does this job pay?
Oh God.
No tricks this time.
How do I know you're telling the truth?
You'll have to trust me.
Dang. Oof. Forgot how good this is, man. Okay. All right.
There will be sacrifice.
I'm sorry.
We must all face judgment for the evils of our past if we want any hope to change our future.
Okay.
This is serious, Shipsmith.
This is fruit punch. Would you like some?
Oh my God, of course.
Nice. All
Hell
right.
yeah.
Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Battle Beast just wrecking house.
Yes, sir.
We stick together. That's how we win this.
Yes, look at them.
All
Look
right,
at those suits.
right. Oh, yeah. Thrag, baby. We got Thrag.
Oh, baby.
Leave no one alive.
Oh, and I think it's
don't
Lee
even
Pace
know.
doing the voice of Thrag,
Yep,
if I remember
Lee Pace
correctly.
doing Thrag.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, that's
baby,
so good. This makes me so excited to be back in the Invincible universe. I always forget how good this story is, especially in this section of the comic. Conquest was dope. I don't think people are ready for the fights that are about to happen, though. Adam, I don't think are you? This is kind of where we stopped, right?
I was actually going to ask. Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly how far we got, and I think.
Do you remember Dinosaurus? At all?
I think that was like right towards the tail end of where we stopped reading.
Yeah.
I think we got to about issue 74,
75, somewhere
like
there.
that. So this is like starting to, I think, get outside of territory that I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good because this is when the story gets really, really good. And we start to introduce some newer characters. One of my favorite characters of Invincible is why I freaked out is Dinosaurus. Dinosaurus is such a crazy, complex, fun kind of addition to the Invincible universe, specifically to the Earthbound characters. I'm rewatching it again. We got Tech Jacket, which honestly needs his own series. Tech Jacket is incredible. We're starting to see some of the extraterrestrial entities that play a big part in this, and we got our boy Thrag. Thrag is the ultimate baddie. Conquest is afraid of Thrag, and we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that because that's the reality of it. So this looks really good, and we're getting into, I don't want to say, we're not getting into the end game just yet, but we're getting into the real meat and potatoes of what Invincible kind of is. So this is exciting. This is good stuff.
Very exciting. And it makes you wonder, like how much more they'll stretch the story. Like, would they, after we see season 4, will we look at what the story or where the story ends and go, okay, it seems like season 5 is going to be the culmination of like everything? Or because Robert Kirkman was also very vague about it too. He was like, we could do 6, 7, 8, we could do 10, we could do 12. So I'm so curious if, because I so far from everything that I've read and everything that we've watched in the show, I've never felt like the pacing was off, and I never felt like it was taking too long to get to certain things. If anything, the way they've remixed some stuff, we get to some things earlier, but I think it's really helped keep the pacing feel really good. Like I never feel like there's a lull, right? And when you think that like things are going to be good, you're at that midway point, or you're like right at that penultimate episode, and then they hit you with a conquest, or they hit you with, whatever, like Angstrom doing something, or Mark being thrown to another universe, or whatever the case may be. They've really figured out how to time out every season to cover enough story, but to also not feel like it's rushed, but also make it feel very satisfactory and action-packed and do all this stuff. It is really incredible the way that Robert Kirkman and the writers have taken the story and figured out how to make it episodic in a really satisfying way. Because I think it can be a challenge, and especially when you are adapting, it's different when you're adapting sets of comics or like 4 issues of a comic or certain arcs. This is an adaptation of like a full entire run of a comic book. Complete run. And I know how comic book readers, how we can be. It's the same thing like book readers. We can be very particular and sometimes gatekeeping about how the stories are adapted. But I think because it is Robert Kirkman and he's assembled a group of writers he trusts, it really feels like there is no better way that you could probably adapt this. And we've been saying this since day one. Good luck to the movie or movies, because the animated series has like elevated the comic book in a lot of ways and done it a lot of justice. So like, oh man, the challenge of now upping it again to a cinematic, realistic, quote unquote, live action level, that's a whole separate set of challenges. But the trailer looks awesome.
And once again, I think Robert Kirkman got into it a little bit when we asked him about the movie in the interview. So again, I'm going to tell you again, because I don't think that episode has broken 10,000 views. Go watch that interview because it's so good. It's one of my favorite things we did all of last year. So go watch that. Interview. It's such a good interview. Anyways, let's get into Star Wars, Adam.
Star Wars.
Let's get into that bad boy.
Yeah, so I knew about Maul Shadow Lord because of Celebration. They premiered like the first look. I don't know how much of a teaser it was because I didn't see it. So I knew that this was coming. This is taking place after the events of Clone Wars. So there's a little bit of like story context there. Yeah.
Are you sure? Because that's got a pretty definitive ending for our boy here.
No, it technically it's in Rebels that he's got a definitive ending.
Oh,
when he faces off against Obi-Wan. Where he faces off against Obi-Wan.
Was in Rebels. Okay.
Yep.
I see.
So there's still stories.
Right.
I remember also like he shows up in, and I know timeline wise, but he also shows up in things like Solo. So he's still trugging along after the events of Clone Wars and dipping his toe into stories long after. So that's what's exciting to me. And like it is truly, like you were saying, it is nuts that Darth Maul, a character who had appearance in one movie, gets cut in half and falls down that shaft. The fact that he's had this very rich 30-year career at this point. No, is that correct? 26-year career. 27-year career through comic books and animated series. It is really impressive. So I'm really excited for this. I know Sam Witwer is coming back to do the voice of Darth Maul, and I'm just excited. So let's check this thing out.
Just count us down, buddy.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Times have changed. I will show you the galaxy for what it truly is. See things from a new perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Is this what our future holds? Always running.
Oh, nice. Some jetties.
I invite you to look more closely.
What are we dealing with?
Good question. And I offer you an opportunity.
Sick.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
There he is.
Oh, baby.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Maul.
There's the guy. All right. Come on.
All been made to suffer. We survive.
Him.
But do not live.
Whoa. Who's that?
Nice.
Who's that?
Oh, hell yeah.
Whoa, is that a minigun? Yo, who was that?
Yo, the Inquisitors.
The Inquisitors are back. Oh, we need a Savage Press. Come on.
Seriously.
Give us a Savage Press. Give us just a little cutscene.
Give me that taste.
Can be
Dang. Okay. Oof.
Baby.
Okay, we're getting into it. Okay.
Oh, that is a sick title treatment.
Yeah. That's really dope.
Oof. Yeah.
Wow, that looks cool, man.
Awesome. It's interesting because it's obviously from the creator. It's Dave Filoni. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly who the showrunners are, but it's interesting because this is now starting to feel like the evolution of that 3D sort of look that they're doing with the shows. Because character wise, it looks like it's in the family of Bad Batch, Rebels, Clone Wars, all that stuff. But then there is a little bit of this like painterly look on some of the backgrounds. The textures on the wall feel a little bit more like oil paints. Like I like the look, and I do think, and I think we kind of talk about this when it comes to Pixar too. Pixar has had this locked in look for 20 some odd 30 years now, and it's great for what it is, and it works. But I think even in the last several years, we've talked about like, okay, maybe it's time to figure out kind of what the next phase of Pixar is. What's the next style? And I sometimes would get worried with Star Wars because I don't, especially after Visions, because Star Wars Visions was a revelation. Having all those animation houses coming in and putting their very distinctive styles on all of those shorts was amazing. And so I hope and I think that for Lucasfilm specifically, for them to come into projects like this now, they gotta be looking at the reception of those animated projects and going, okay, so the audience is thirsty for some really innovative animation. I think Spider-Verse and all that stuff plays a big part in it too. And I feel like we're starting to see that a little bit here. They're starting to experiment a little bit more with the style and how things look. And I'm all for it. Like Star Wars needs to evolve. whether it's live action or animation, we need to continue to kind of push it into new directions. And if it's still telling stories on characters that we know and love, that's fine. The animation and the look and the style is not going to necessarily make me feel any different than it being animated traditionally, how it has been for 20 some odd years. I want them to take these risks and really push the cinematography and the looks of this stuff while also enjoying a awesome story about one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. So I think this looks really great.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fun. It looks action-packed. It looks like what the people, if you watched Rebels or Clone Wars as a kid, it looks like what the adult version of that would be. You know, because that was always like very kid-friendly, very entry-level animation, like not a lot of craziness as far as like pushing the boundaries as far as art goes. It was obviously made to be very easy to animate and very easy to translate to screen.
Right.
I think Bad Batch was another good jump. I think that was another good jump in like the art style, because Bad Batch was really cool because of the backgrounds, the art styles was the armor was very painterly. And this looks like just another little notch above. Yep. A little notch above that. So we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere with the styles. It does look like they are bringing down the frame rate to either 30 or 24. I don't think it's exactly 24 because it's not as jittery. But if you notice when the double lightsabers are swinging, there's a lot of stutter in the swing. Like you can see, it's not like you can see the smooth swing,
right?
And there's stutter, and it looks like a double or triple image, and I think that's rad. I actually really enjoy that. So I think they're taking cues from where animation is right now, but also sticking to that Star Wars style that we're all used to. So everything looks good. I'm really hoping that this show does well. I have a feeling that this show is going to do well because there's a huge amount of Darth Maul fans out there.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The Darth Maul fan base is massive. And truthfully,
rabid.
I mean, the fact that it took almost, 30 years for him to get his own series is kind of insane. But I will say that despite all that, the fact that, like I was saying earlier, he's survived so much and he's been around for so many years now, I think in some ways it was a blessing and a curse that he killed him, right? It was a curse because he was never brought back into the other prequel films and everyone thought he was gone, but it was a blessing because Dave Filoni or whoever's idea it was to bring back Darth Maul for more stories was like, yeah, you know what? Actually, it was the comic books, if I remember correctly. Those were the first ones that really kind of put this image in fans' heads of, oh yeah, what if someone finds him, or what if he escapes and he gets animatronic legs and he survives and blah blah blah. It's the precursor to Vader and all this. So it's pretty amazing that he's getting his first animated series where he is like the lead. Obviously, he shows up in other stuff, but he's the star. So that's going to be really cool. And also, this era, and I've said this many times where I'm like, I would like to get away from the Skywalker era. And I think it's a little bit of I think sometimes I'm a little incorrect in the way that I phrase that. I'm not necessarily trying to just get away from that whole timeline, that whole era, because I do think that there are really cool stories you can mine from. I think it's sometimes just those characters. Like, I don't need to see Luke, Han, and Leia, 3PO, R2, even Yoda, like some of the, I'm like, give me something else. And Darth Maul is a character that we have not had a ton of one-on-one time with. His story is part of other stories, but now to have a 10-episode series just on him, hell yeah. Let me get that. What is that story?
Listen, the only pushback I'm going to say on that sentence, Adam, is Yoda. Because Yoda needs his own solo 7-season series where we go through young Yoda and his 700 years of existing.
If it's the James Mangold movie that's 10,000 years in the past, I'm all for it. I'll take that. But I don't want a Yoda like 5 minutes after episode 3. I don't want to see him knitting on Dagobah. I'm good.
I'm good with Han Solo. I'm good with Leia. I'm good with Luke. Like we're done with those guys. Give us the other characters who we have not explored yet. I'll take a Mace Windu movie at this point. Like, give me some good stuff. Mace
Windu during like the tail end of the Young Republic. Republic era. I'm about it. I'm about it.
Yep. And guess what? all directed by Genndy Tartakovsky. Every single project.
Oh my God. Listen,
Also, if you haven't seen that either, we interviewed Genndy on the podcast. Go watch that as well, because that was another killer episode. That was really, really good.
And listen, I understand that Dave Filoni's going to be running Lucasfilm now. I get it. You're the animation guy. Blah 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 blah. But brother,
hey, Dave,
you need to call Genndy Tartakovsky. What are you doing?
Give that man a call. He loves this stuff. Let's do it. Let's see it.
He will do it.
Yeah.
All right. The last trailer that we are going to be watching is for, and I was telling Augustine this, I used to have a figurine of Skeletor as a kid. I knew of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe just from what I would consume on TV. But I'll be honest with you, it has been a hot minute since I've either watched that old movie with Dolph Lundgren or even consumed any Masters of the Universe media at all. So I think Hector's done a pretty good job, I think, if I remember correctly, of kind of keeping up with He-Man and Masters of the Universe. So
I think I am really excited for this. I think he enjoyed the animated series, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. I think, right? It was like a Netflix show?
Yes, it was a Netflix animated series. I think he enjoyed that. I also watched a little bit of the She-Ra series, and I actually really enjoyed that one. I think I fell off after like season 2, just because the writing was kind of suffering after that. But I really enjoyed the initial idea of what the She-Ra stuff was, and that takes place in the Masters of the Universe universe. Nice. But there's really, like, besides, if you're not counting those animated series, there's not a lot to chew from here. This cartoon series came in the 80s, in the height of creating long commercials for people to sell toys, basically. This whole cartoon, this whole series came around to sell toys. That's really what this whole series was. I'm glad we're diving into it again, though, because I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff you can mine from this franchise still. So I'm excited to see what this trailer is. I have no idea, how deep we're going to get into He-Man. Right. I don't count the 80s movie as like any, because that movie was weird. I remember even as a kid who would only watch the animated series, I remember watching that movie and thinking, this is not the same thing. Like, what is this? Like, this is not the same thing that I was watching. Yeah. And I found it just really, really weird and off-putting, even as a child. So,
but when they put that shit on 4K Blu-ray, my ass is gonna buy it.
You know it. All the 4Ks. All the 4Ks.
That's right.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers.
I used to have that castle playset.
Magic swords that can make a man as mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real.
Yeah, he looks like a He-Man.
Yeah. Dang, okay.
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you. There's
Chicago.
Obsession with nerd stuff and sword things. It's not a good look for human resources.
What?
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show me the way out.
Funny.
You can't do that.
Don't worry, the sword's mine.
Brother, that's built into the statue. What are you doing?
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
Oh shit, Idris Elba? Okay. I am so in. Yes!
What am I supposed to do?
Oh shit. Oh, he doesn't look like Jared Leto. Okay, they actually made him look like Skeletor.
Good. Cover his face.
Nice. Very cool. Oh, look at him. Oh my god, this dude is ripped.
Yep.
That
you gotta be.
rad.
You gotta be. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're going for it.
Hell yeah.
I really hope they keep Skeletor's voice. Skeletor talks like this.
Yeah. Please, for the love of God, please. I don't want him to be serious and have a deep voice. No. I want him to be an eccentric villain.
He needs to end every sentence like that.
I will say, I was not expecting the trailer to be that fun.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
And this is, so how do I explain this? I think that the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, and we've talked about this like hundreds of thousands of times, but it's worth reiterating. Those movies, I think, convinced a lot of people, including me, that every superhero movie should take itself that seriously because it's to respect the mythology and respect the characters and the lore and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think what ended up happening is that we got a little bit away from, truthfully, the fun and sort of the eccentricism, how like eccentric superhero movies should be. And of course they should still exist in some form of like reality. You shouldn't be breaking physics in the sense that like if a guy hits a wall, it should feel like it's a guy hitting a wall and not a Gumby CG thing hitting a wall. And I think that's the thing that I think I like about this trailer is that it feels like it's embracing sort of the silliness of the movie, but it's not making fun of the characters. It's just embracing what He-Man, at least in my collective memory, what I kind of remember from my experiences of watching the cartoon and playing with the toys and stuff. Like, it's not trying to be the Dark Knight. It's just trying to be Masters of the Universe. And I think you kind of need to do that at certain points, because if you try to change it too much from what it is from the source material, then it's a different thing. It's a different beast. And I don't think that like He-Man, the toyetic cartoon movie or cartoon series needs to be turned into something that's like the deepest, darkest, most, brutal and blah, 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 blah. Have fun with it. I want to go to the movies and have a good time and remember of like, oh yeah, these things can be silly and you can still enjoy them. And you can still fall in love with the characters and go on an emotional journey with them, but it can be a little Power Rangers sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's maybe coming back into movies a little bit. We saw it a little bit with kind of Blue Beetle.
Right.
Obviously,
Blue Beetle is the perfect example.
Yeah, like Blue Beetle was great, right? You still respected the canon. You still loved the characters. That movie was still fantastic. But it still had a ton of fun. We had a minigun wielding grandma who turned out to be the most badass character of the whole movie.
Amazing.
Yeah, the Abuelita was the best part. And so I still think there's a lot of room for the kind of goofiness and silliness that these characters really are. Like, we're talking about shirtless, ripped, muscular dudes in spandex, and that's not necessarily super serious all the time. It does look a little bit silly. And in the context of this world, obviously it looks right. It looks like it fits. But overall, as the viewer, I think we should allow for more fun in these movies. And I feel like it's also setting itself apart from the Marvel type of fun,
Totally.
Marvel type of fun is just kind of jokes mixed into kind of serious storylines. But this feels just like it's colorful. The cinematography looks great. It's just the characters look fresh faced and kind of young. You don't have a lot of baggage tied to a lot of these actors besides Idris Elba, because he brings that clout. He brings that legacy with every character he brings. But I feel like that's kind of, that's kind of expected from a man of that caliber. Yeah. But it just looks like a fun, unique project that I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing on premiere night. But yeah, this looks like it's right up my alley. Like, this is the type of stuff that little me would have been so excited to see, and big me gets to see it. This is great.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it is, and I don't want to say obscure because Masters of the Universe was pretty popular, But, you know, it's not something that I think like a lot of people have kept up with over the years. It's something that like people mention of like, oh yeah, He-Man. I enjoyed He-Man when I was a kid, you know, kids of the 80s and stuff. But it is not like a Marvel or Star Wars or a DC where like I've been waiting 40 years for this. I think people will watch the trailer and go, oh shit, they made a He-Man. I'll come back in June and watch this thing. Sure, why not? I think my only, and this is like nitpick stuff, and it's also a little unfair because again, we are watching a YouTube compressed version of this trailer, is some of the visual effects, like visually it looks a little too like smooth, not even like video gamey, but I think it's because it doesn't have that texture because I think it's compressed on YouTube that I'm like, does this look like it's a little
plasticky?
Like, little plasticky, a little Gumby, or is it just because I'm watching off of YouTube?
Maybe because of the toys, the plasticky toys.
Yeah, maybe just embracing that. Yeah,
maybe it was a stylistic choice. Who knows? I'd love to see some film grain, but I can't see that on YouTube. So I'll take what I can take.
Yeah, a little smudgy.
Yeah,
but you know that's a pretty common thing that we do talk about when we watch trailers, and I think it's truthfully part of the reason why more like even Marvel has started uploading their trailers in 4K because I'm like, yeah, man, it's not necessarily about the resolution, it's about the quality. The 4K quality of a trailer looks way better. It's not as pixelated as this 1080 version, so it's like I don't want to be too judgmental about the quality of the visual effects until I see it in like a higher resolution or higher quality. And before I can be like, yeah, I don't think I like this. Because right now, just like on the surface, after watching this trailer, I'm like, this looks really fun. I am totally down to go see this on opening weekend. And hopefully, like, I just want to like the characters and I want the characters to make me invested in their story. And if it does that, then the rest of it's kind of gravy. It's like, great, poetic movie, show, thing, property is a good time. So what else do I need?
Maybe I will go and buy some merch, and that's what they want from me. I'll have He-Man merch that I'll be proud to wear. That's really the best case scenario at this point. So hopefully this movie makes me want to do that.
I hope so too. I hope so too. And I hope that if things like this, these more obscure, and even truthfully with Power Rangers, I don't dislike that 2017 movie. I just think that at certain parts of it was a little too serious. And I'm like, Power Rangers, it's a little cheesy. It's a little campy. And you need to embrace a little bit of that. And I think that's maybe, and again, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know, but it feels like that's what He-Man is trying to do, or Masters of the Universe is trying to do. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay if you lean into that a little bit sometimes. I think there's a balance.
Agreed.
There is a balance. We'll see. I think it looks really fun, so I'm excited to check it out.
Yep.
So far, I mean, like all three trailers, bangers. Really, really good. Yeah. So
good trailer park reaction.
We're eating good this year. Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
But guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Of these three trailers, which one was your favorite? Which of these projects are you looking forward to the most? And did the Masters of the Universe trailer surprise you as much as it surprised us? Let us know. Check out everything else we're watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Heroes Reforged is gonna react. Heroes Reforged is gonna review. Heroes Reforged is gonna discuss. That's why we are watching